I believe that after decades of living, our idea of enough quietly shifts. As the years unfold, possessions accumulate, first by necessity, then by habit, and sometimes out of sentimentality. But somewhere along the line, many of us realize it isn't the abundance of things, but the freedom from them that brings real happiness. Today I'd like to share with you a story, one man's journey into minimalism, and explore how the philosophy of less can lead not to absence, but to abundance of a new sort. And along the way, let's consider together, what are you making space for in this chapter of your life? Let's begin by meeting Tom. Tom is 68, a retired engineer, a grandfather, and as of a few years ago, a self-described minimalist. But he didn't start out that way. Like many of us, Tom spent much of his life working hard, raising his family, and collecting furniture, gadgets, souvenirs, tools, the typical constellation of items that orbit around an active household. When retirement came, he looked around and realized his home had become a time capsule of years gone by, each item a thread to a memory or moment. Yet, as he sifted through the piles, a question lingered: were these things supporting his happiness or quietly weighing him down? Tom's story isn't unique, but it holds a gentle wisdom for anyone ready to reassess what truly matters. So let's walk through some of the key insights from his minimalist journey. Simple, thoughtful lessons that can enhance your quality of life right now, regardless of what the past has brought or what the future holds. First, minimalism is not about deprivation. It's about intentionality. Rather than asking, "What am I willing to give up?" Tom asked himself, "What do I want to keep, and why?" When you strip away pressure to purge and focus instead on appreciating what you truly value, the process becomes gentler, more respectful of your life story. For anyone who has spent a lifetime collecting and treasuring, this perspective shift honors what you've built while supporting your next chapter. You might reflect on the objects closest to you. What story do they tell? Is there one small area, perhaps a drawer or a shelf, where you could experiment with keeping only what uplifts you? Second, less clutter makes way for more clarity. Tom noticed that as he cleared out unnecessary items, not only did his physical space open up, but his emotional landscape did too. With fewer distractions, he found it easier to focus on his music, reconnect with friends, and start new projects. At this stage of life, clarity is a tremendous gift. It allows us to savor what feeds our spirits without the background noise of the unnecessary. Consider, is there a space in your home, a reading corner, a kitchen counter, that could benefit from this clarity? What small change could you make this week to invite a little more calm and focus in? Third, letting go is a way to pass on wisdom, not just possessions. Tom realized many objects he held onto might serve his children or grandchildren better. By involving his family in the process, sharing not just items, but the stories behind them, he was able to connect across generations. In contrast, he observed a friend who chose to do all the downsizing alone, which left the family with questions and, surprisingly, some missed opportunities to bond. If you're considering downsizing, perhaps there's room for conversation with loved ones, maybe even a storytelling afternoon, where each object finds a new home and its story continues. Fourth, minimalism can make daily living easier and safer. As joints grow creakier and movements slow, tripping hazards and cluttered pathways become more than an inconvenience. They become health risks. Tom recalls whittling down his belongings to clear walkways and remove loose rugs, which gave him peace of mind and more freedom of movement. If you want to stay independent and vibrant, take a moment to imagine what a few small changes to your daily environment, rearranging furniture, clearing a hallway, could do for your safety and comfort. Fifth, minimalism nurtures your mental well-being. Tom described an unexpected benefit: reduced anxiety. He recounted how in his working years time was often tight, lost keys or overdue bills added hidden stress. Now, with fewer things to keep track of, his mind feels quieter. At this stage of life, when peace is more precious than ever, simplifying can lighten your mental load. How many of us have spent half an hour searching for something buried under a pile? What would it feel like to know where everything important is and to trust that it's enough? If you get value from what we have presented, please like and subscribe to help us grow our channel. Ageless intuition. 6. Minimalism helps uncover what truly brings joy and what never did. Here's where Tom's journey really shifted. He began asking not just, do I use this, but does this bring me alive? For years he kept a collection of expensive tools he never really used, while his battered old guitar brought him real contentment and connection. By letting go of the merely useful in favor of the truly joyful, he discovered a renewed sense of purpose. Maybe take stock. What possessions in your life still spark happiness or creativity? What might you let go of to make more room for new hobbies and interests that suit where you are now? 7th, minimalism supports mobility and adaptability. While moving house isn't in everyone's future, Tom found that owning fewer things made a later life move far less daunting. He compared his experience to that of a friend whose move was overwhelming due to a lifetime's worth of accumulated possessions. Minimalism in this sense becomes an act of preparation, not just for moving, but for any adventure or opportunity that may lie ahead. If you're considering a change, travel, a new living arrangement, or simply shifting rooms, what would it feel like to have only what you need and love by your side? Let's take a moment. Throughout your own life, when have you felt most free? Was it when material abundance was highest, or when your days were light and full of purpose? I invite you to reflect, and if you feel comfortable, share below with our community. Your thoughts might just encourage another soul along this shared journey. 8th, minimalism fosters gratitude, not scarcity. As Tom pared down, he grew more appreciative of what remained. Each object's story stood out with renewed vibrancy. For many in this generation, who've experienced both times of plenty and periods of want, the value of gratitude isn't new. But minimalism can deepen this sense, helping you to see the extraordinary in the ordinary. Try, for a day, focusing only on the things you use and enjoy. Notice how it feels to rely on a chosen few, rather than many. Practical steps can be gentle and doable. Start small: one drawer, one shelf, one stack of papers. Enlist a friend, a grandchild or a neighbor. Share stories as you sort. Set aside items for donation and imagine the new purpose they'll serve. Remember, there's no timeline. Minimalism is a journey, not a sprint. If you've enjoyed reflecting on Tom's story today and found value in these ideas, please consider joining our community by liking and subscribing to Ageless Intuition. Your presence here helps grow a space where wisdom is cherished and experiences are celebrated. In closing, let's honor the lifetime of wisdom you bring to this conversation. The insight that happiness grows, not from what we hold on to, but from what we're willing to release, is a treasure that can enrich every day. Whether your home is brimming or spare, the freedom of less stands ready to meet you wherever you are. May each step toward simplicity fill you with a sense of lightness, gratitude, and anticipation for the joys yet to come. We would love to hear your stories. What have you let go of, and what has letting go made possible for you? Please join our community in the comments below. Your journey matters, and together we're all discovering what enough looks like, again and again. Thanks for watching. Tap that like button and subscribe if this brought you joy today. We're growing thanks to wonderful folks like you. Wishing you a peaceful day wrapped in warmth and love.